Just a very quick impromptu going live this afternoon. Going to do a few of these going forward in 2025 to try and engage a little bit more and keep people up to speed what's going on in two key areas of my business, which you can see floating across the bottom of the screen there. Real crime training, farm safety training, really prominent at the moment. And I think what we're going to see in 2025 is a lot of activity in both of these arenas. So there's BBC documentaries being made. There's going to be a program called Farm 999 that's being produced by a production company based across in Northern Ireland for the BBC. You'll probably hear a lot more about that as things progress. Then the other thing that I'm going to be talking about a hell of a lot is my training courses. And that's what I want to very quickly mention here. I'm only going to stay on a couple of minutes, but I'm going to show you what I've been up to and what we've been developing regarding rural crime training and farm safety training. Let me show you what we've been up to on farm health and safety training. First of all, I'll just make myself a little bit smaller there. So on the farm safety side, you can find these courses in many different places. You can go to my main website, or we've developed something very bespoke, farmsafetytraining.co.uk, and I think you'll agree it does exactly what it says on the tin. What you're looking at here is farmsafetytraining.co.uk. It's really straightforward, and we put it together so that anybody who needs farm safety training will search for farm safety training. They'll find this website. It's getting a lot of hits now, and the courses are really popular, and I'll explain why that's the case in a moment. So you find your way to farmsafetytraining.co.uk, and as you scroll down, you get two options. You've got a training course for farm managers that you can see here, and then you've got a training course for farm workers. Both of those, you click the links, it'll take you to the landing page where you can get further information on me and the training course. And then, of course, you can watch a video and see the benefits. You know, what are you going to get out of it? And then this is explained here. Let me just bring myself back in, because this is really important. You know, there's a lot of training courses out there for farm safety. I'm not aware of any for rural crime training other than ours, which I'm going to mention in a moment. When it comes to farm safety, what I just showed you there, and I'll bring that back into screen. What you see here is a snapshot, an aerial view looking down over our 3D interactive farm. And in our course, you've got training with a difference. You've got I do the training. I talk over the PowerPoint slides, and it's got videos, and it's got all sorts going on inside the training course, and it's a proper online academy. It's pretty cool, it's pretty slick, and it's seamless for the end user, for the student. And what happens is, during the training course, you find yourself, I think it's chapter 7, don't quote me on that, you find yourself being invited into the 3D virtual farm, and in you come, you just click the button, and you become immersed in our 3D farm. And all of those little orange dots that you can see on the screen there. So on the live course, these little orange things, they'll be moving. You see them pulsating, and anything that's moving on the course, it means you can click it and you can go in, and that's what people do. So they suddenly find themselves very similar to Google Street View. You suddenly find yourself going into farmyard or the sheds or the sheep pen, whatever it might be, and you're on like a hazard spotting exercise. It's pretty good, and I won't give too much away, but it's well worth it. I tried it recently. I did a video recently as well. Tried it recently with my son's MetaQuest headset on. It is mind-blowing. It's pretty much out there. So that's our farm safety training course at farmsafetytraining.co.uk. One of the other things, very briefly to mention, let me bring this into view. We've got our rural crime course. Now, a little bit about the rural crime course. It's when it was developed, I listened very carefully to a number of leading experts from around the world. People very kindly gave of their time to sit through the initial iteration, if you like, gave me very constructive feedback. And I listened to all of that feedback. And this was feedback from eminent professors and lecturers and researchers in rural criminology, and people who are from various universities around the world, including Australia and here in the UK, and also security experts from predominantly in the United Kingdom, people who've been there and done it and work in rural and agricultural security. So they reviewed the course for me. I listened really carefully what they had to tell me, and I made a lot of changes, and we launched the course. And at the point of launching it, I wanted it to have, again, uniqueness. And so we had it assessed and approved, and it was internationally accredited by Security Global CPD, so Security Services Global CPD points. So anybody sitting the course can actually gain up to 5 security CPD points. So that's absolutely fantastic. Let me quickly show you a little bit about the course itself then. So if you go to, and I'll make that a bit bigger. If you go to that website that you can see there, ruralcrimetraining.co.uk. Again, it does what it says on the tin. If you want rural crime training, then go to ruralcrimetraining.co.uk. And as you scroll through that course, you can find out a little bit about what the aims are, what our ambitions with the course are, and also you can have a look at some testimonials. So people who've actually done our course, and the ones you can see now on the screen, you know, these are people from around the world who have done our course in New Zealand, Indonesia, as you can see there. I'll scroll down. I think there's a couple more. Yeah, here we go. And as you click on those, they'll get bigger. So people from the United Kingdom as well, some anonymous feedback. But again, we're very careful here. What we do is we listen to people, and you know, where people make comments on our training courses, we carefully analyze those comments, and they're valid. They're valid because someone has taken the time to click the link, go to the feedback forms, fully automated process within the actual courses themselves. They've taken the time to give us their constructive feedback and occasionally criticism, and that's vital to me. And I listen very, very carefully, and we discuss it, and we make the changes required. So there we go. So I'll keep it brief. That's 7 minutes and 48 seconds. I wanted to just say hi. I want you also to know that we've got a YouTube channel and a Facebook group. So if you go onto Facebook and search Rural Crime Prevention and Farm Safety Training, you will find us. I'll be talking about that more and more over the coming weeks and months in 2025. We also have a YouTube channel of the same name, Rural Crime and Farm Safety on YouTube. And again, these are fledgling channels. At the moment, they're starting to grow, starting to gather a little bit of information and interest from literally around the world. And my aim is very simple. In 2025, I'm going to bring to you free information relating to rural crime and farm health and safety, but I'm also going to give you an opportunity to purchase really cost-effective, unique training courses. And the aim is the protection of the end user. So we know that within the rural sector, landed estates, agriculture, farming, forestry, and fishing, it's a dangerous place to live. It's a dangerous place to work. Year on year, literally for the last 10 or so years, it's always up there when the Health and Safety Executive produce their annual statistics. Guess who's at the top of the list for killing and injuring the most people? Normally, it's that sector: agriculture, landed estates, forestry, and fishing. And we can do something about that because we know what's going to kill and injure people at work. And our training courses are focused on those causal factors. We focus in, but we keep it simple. There's no legalese, no mumbo jumbo. It's straightforward. This can go wrong, and if you do this, you don't get injured. So it's really, really factual, very informative, and really simple. It's the same with the rural crime courses. To close off, those rural criminals, the gangs, organized gangs, well-funded, very efficient, roaming the UK, roaming across Ireland, roaming across the whole of Europe, and indeed around the world, causing mayhem and havoc, stealing people's livelihoods, ruining people's lives, committing crimes and violence. we know what they're going to do. We know when they do it. We know how they get you stuff and what they do with it. But what we want to do is empower you, the end user, the person who potentially is their next victim. We want to empower you with information so you can go and do something about it. So that's me. That's Richard Wade here at Rural Crimes. So have a look at the websites, health and safety for farming on farmsafetytraining.co.uk and rural crime prevention advice, information and training at ruralcrimetraining.co.uk. You can reach out to me at any time. I'd be delighted to interact. If you want to come on one of these little chats that I do, give me a shout, put a message into Facebook or YouTube while I'm on live like now. It will appear on my screen and I'll invite you into the studio. So there's people watching now. I'm hoping more people will watch later. If you see us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel.